This is Wisdom07 TV, a channel for wisdom with an educational spirit. The channel may impact your life in matter of peace of mind, self, conduct, leadership, financial freedom, capacity development, confidence, self-esteem, and increase hope for your future. So please click on subscribe, like, and share the video with your friends and relatives. Today we're going to start with Leonardo Dicaprio. Born November 11th, 1974, is an American actor and film producer. He is the recipient of numerous accolades, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, and 3 Golden Globe Awards. As of 2019, his films have grossed over $7.2 billion worldwide, and he has been placed 8 times in annual rankings of the world's highest-paid actors. Let's listen his messages. Remember to subscribe, like, and share the video. I'm not the kind of person who tries to be cool or trendy. I'm definitely an individual. I got attention by being funny at school, pretending to be retarded and jumping around with a deformed hand. School I never truly got the knack of. I could never focus on things I didn't want to learn. Math is just the worst. To this day, I can't concentrate on it. People always say, you should have tried harder. But actually, I cheated a lot because I could not sit and do homework. Money was always on my mind when I was growing up. So I was always wondering how we were going to afford this and that. Acting seemed to be a shortcut out of the mess. I'm just starting to scratch the surface of what really makes me happy, and it's taken me a while to admit that acting like a little child and being a jerk and a punk is fun. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully people will watch my movies. I'm probably not going to get married unless I live with somebody for 10 or 20 years. But these people, Romeo and Juliet, took a chance and they did it. We don't have the balls that Romeo did. Being dubbed as a hunk sort of annoys me. It gives me a yucky feeling. My career should adapt to me. Fame is like a VIP pass wherever you want to go. As a kid, I was going to be a marine biologist or an actor. When I became successful as an actor, I said, well, maybe I can lend a voice to this with an equal passion. You realize how lucky we are and how destructive we've been and what little regard we have for the natural world. I am friends with Demi. Don't believe anything you read. Brothers don't necessarily have to say anything to each other. They can sit in a room and be together and just be completely comfortable with each other. I like stories in specific time periods. The Revenant's era of American history was fascinating because it was this lawless no man's land. It defined the idea of the American frontiersman as man conquering nature. In a way, the story of Hugh Glass is about man dominating nature. I love being immersed in nature, going to places in the world that are pristine and untouched by man. It's almost a religious experience when you go to a place like the Amazon, and there's no civilization for thousands of miles. I don't ask other actors questions. I think that's too intrusive. I just watch. I don't want to be constricted to an idea of what acting is by anyone else. I want to take my own education. If you can do what you do best and be happy, you're further along in life than most people. My mother is a walking miracle. I get a friend to travel with me. I need somebody to bring me back to who I am. It's hard to be alone. I've been very lucky to have achieved a lot of the things that I dreamt of achieving as a young man. But at the end of the day, and I truly believe this, it is not about achieving great wealth or success, because they don't bring happiness ultimately. I haven't died in a movie in a while. The Departed, Body of Lies, Revolutionary Road, Shutter Island, and Inception. I guess I did die in The Departed. I have very little fashion sense, and to tell you the truth, I give it very little thought. I dress to be as comfortable as I possibly can. Most of my clothing is either black, gray, or dark blue, and I don't really wear a lot of colors, but I do like jackets. I have a little bit of an obsession with them. My parents know I was outgoing as a child, and whenever people came over, I'd automatically do impressions of them as soon as they left. It was my mom's favorite thing. Yes, I grew up in Hollywood, but not in any rich neighborhood. I realize that I do not change the course of history. I am an actor, I do a movie, that's the end of it. You have to realize we are just clowns for hire. After I had success, it was great at first, not to worry about money. It was on my mind when I was growing up. I don't see why I can't have friends of both sexes without wild rumors being circulated. It's crazy. I was a bit of a loudmouth, and I was in an environment where the elements aligned to have kids smack the hell out of me once in a while. I've always been spontaneous and outgoing. I've tried lots of things, so I've got some good life experiences, which is great because it means I've got lots of material to work with as an actor. The role of Rimbaud is one of the most important roles to play for a young actor. I've always been a slow starter. My first date was with a girl called Ceci. We had a beautiful relationship over the phone all summer, and then when we met, I couldn't look her in the eye. I took some time off after Titanic because I needed to let the dust settle and recharge my battery. I felt, okay, you've been given a tremendous opportunity. What are you going to do with it? Now, your name can finance movies that you do want to do. The good thing about acting is that it always keeps you on your toes. It's not like any other job where you can go in and do the same thing as yesterday. I had a period when I was 16 where I started to get a big head. I was going through puberty, and I was nominated for an Academy Award. My head got inflated. My friends were the real ones who said, "You're acting different." But the truth is that I don't need that because I don't get out of hand. I think I will always feel like an outsider. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems. I believe mankind has looked at climate change in the same way, as if it were a fiction. Portraying emotionally ill characters gives me the chance to really act. Leonardo Dicaprio. If you have the ability to convince somebody of something that you don't necessarily think is the case, it's a valuable asset. Not that I'm like a pathological liar, but we spend most of the day not fully being honest, you know? Women have been the most persecuted people throughout all of recorded history, more than any race or religion. I've never done drugs. That's because I saw this stuff literally every day when I was 3 or 4 years old. I saw all the moral decay you could beginning at 2 years old. But I also got to see how the other half lived. I really hate relaxing. I've done 3 movies in a row, worked for 2 years straight, and to me, idle time is the devil's workshop. I like to focus on something. I've managed to keep a clear head and remain sane in this business because I remain a kid off camera. When you are given an opportunity to make a film like Body of Lies, and I would put Blood Diamond in the same category, of course you jump at these opportunities. I get unhappy doing things that I'm not passionate about, because I feel like I'm squandering this incredible gift I've been given to finance films. As soon as my name alone was enough to make this happen, I vowed to myself that I was going to work with directors who were changing cinema, doing something important, you know? Raising awareness on the most pressing environmental issues of our time is more important than ever. When I was 14, I was on the cover of Bop and Tiger Beat. Every 2 months, I would see a new kid's face, and I remember saying, this is not something that lasts very long. My mom, Irmeline, taught me the value of life. Her own life was saved by my grandmother during World War II. I've never been Romeo who meets a girl and falls for her immediately. It's been a much slower process for me each time I've gone into a relationship. I did imitations of anyone who came to my parents' house, and that was my identity at school. If there were 10 minutes to lunch and the teacher was done with the lesson, he'd say, "Okay, Leo, get up there and do something." I really don't know what I'm doing. I don't. It's terrible. I go in there and I learn how to be like the character and do the best I can, and that's all I really do. I don't think anyone really gets used to being recognized around the world. It kind of feels like a video game at times, especially with paparazzi and people following you and things of that nature. But it's part of who I am now. I couldn't deal with playing a character who rides motorcycles and has a leather jacket and is a tough kid, you know? With Romeo and Juliet, you're talking about 2 people who meet one night and get married the same night. I believe in love at first sight, but it hasn't happened to me yet. Considering all that's happened in my life, I feel like I'm a pretty level-headed person that has remained happy and not let my shortcomings overtake the better part of me. I'm fulfilling the things I wanted to fulfill, and I'm still sane. To believe in love, to be ready to give up anything for it, to be willing to risk your life for it, is the ultimate tragedy. Meryl Streep does things I would never have thought possible. Her presence on screen is outstanding. I want to be a jerk like the rest of my friends and have fun and not care about the consequences, but I just can't now. Leonardo Dicaprio drugs? Everyone has a choice, and I choose not to do drugs. I don't watch anything of mine much. I haven't gone to drama school or college either. I just like to watch other actors in action. I learned so much from working with De Niro. I'd be in a scene with him where I was supposed to be acting, and I was just watching. I can remember getting rejected systematically by casting directors as a young kid. I felt like the biggest outsider there ever was, that I'd never belong in that club. My parents, who were split up, were so good at keeping my environment strong and keeping everything around me not focused on the fact that we were poor. They got me culture. They took me to museums. They showed art to me. They read to me. And my mother drove 2 hours a day to take me to University Elementary School. Now we are at the end. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you for watching.